Hi everyone, here is a short video about decimals. So in class today, we talked about how this number right here, 1.52, is just like money. That's what it looks like. And we discussed how this 2 right here, we can think about it like pennies. So this would be represented by 2 pennies. And there are 100 pennies in a dollar. So that represents the hundredths place. The 2 is in the hundredths place. The 5 would represent dimes. So we would need 5 dimes to make 50, which is what this represents. And then how many dimes would we need to make a dollar? We would actually need 10. So that's why we call this the tenths place. So we drew this little chart, and this really helped us understand the different place values. The ones that we already knew, the ones in the tens, and then also the new ones, the tenths and the hundredths. Okay, so we talked about how we would actually say this number. So we would say that this is 1, and every time we get to the decimal point, we say and. Then we say 52. And then we look and say, hey, this is in the last digit that's here is in the hundredths place. So we say 1 and 52 hundredths. Okay, and we do the same thing with this number right here. So first we start out with what we know, 23. We get to the decimal point, that's the word and. We say 5, and then the 5 is actually this time in the tenths place, so we say tenths. Okay, so in class today, not only did we do this activity where we looked at a number, we figured out how to say it, we also have worked on problems like this to where we have to convert a decimal into a fraction. So for example, this would be 1 whole, and there's a 3, that's my numerator, and I would say, hey, that 3 is in the hundredths place, so it becomes 1 and 3 hundredths. Then I would go to this next one, I would say, hey, there's an 80 there, there's no whole, so I would say 80, what place is that last digit in? The hundredths place, so I say 80 100ths. It's the same thing on the next one. I would say this is 2 wholes right there, and then I write my fraction 2. This 2 is in the tenths place. So even though most of us would probably say this is 2.2 or 80 cents or 0.80, with the kids, we're really trying to teach them proper vocabulary, and that's to say 2 and 2 tenths. It is really going to be helpful for them to think about it like that when they have to write the decimals as a fraction and then the fractions as decimals. So let's do some of those fractions to decimals. So this 8 tenths means I need to put an 8 in the tenths place, just like that. Then I also just need to look at the next one, and I'm going to say, hey, that's 1 whole, decimal point. Now I need a 2 in the hundredths place. What a lot of the kids want to do is they just put a 2 right here, but really my hundredths place is over here. So in this blank spot, in this tenths place, I don't have any tenths, so I just put a 0. So it would look like this, without that crazy line underneath. And then this last one right here would be 33 hundredths. So there's a basic overall gist of what we did today in class, converting decimals to fractions and fractions to decimals.